I'm Daryl, that's Rami, and welcome. We're in
Salina, Texas.
Salina, Texas, and guess what? I just want to say this. You know, sometimes things are hard to talk about, and people want to keep their head in the sand, but remember something, every time that you put your head in the sand, where's your butt? Try to picture your head in the sand, where's your butt? Okay? Yeah, well, you're going to get it up the butt. And we've been getting it up the butt since the beginning of time. And I mean the beginning of time. And the reality is that a lot of people don't like controversy. And you know what? I'm not into controversy either. But I would like to know what's truly going on in the planet and then not get emotional about it. Okay? Not take it personal. Okay? And not whine and complain and try to explain my way why I'm having a tantrum. I get it. This is how it is. Okay? This is how things are, and they're probably not going to change, but the reality is I'm going to change. Okay? I'm going to change 1% every day. And the reality is today I made a title here. And you know what the title is today? We are coming for our children. Do you remember that thing that happened for the last 3 years? And remember what they said? They actually said this. The WHO said, we're coming for your children. We'll kick your doors down. Now, whether or not they would actually do it or not, how many people crap their pants? Oh my God, my children, my children. Well, the reality is this, okay? I wouldn't send my kids to school for one day, ever, ever, ever. And I get it. Your kids are still in school. But you know what? By the time we actually catch on to the fact that the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers actually did a major study like, how long ago, guys? Over 100 years ago. And what they found is that if you had a child go to school for 12 years and you get them around the age of 5 or 6 before they find their authentic selves, that they'll be programmed to abuse themselves and take abuse, okay, from their parents and take abuse from the world. I'm going to tell you something right now. The whole education system is crap, okay? It's crap. It's crap. You know, I was just telling Rami, I said, you know, she has a son, and I said, you know, if he were to actually, you know, if he wanted to, and he wanted to become like a Wolf non-surgical therapist, right? He's only 16. Understand something. I actually trained a young boy, and he was 8 years old, and he was certified in Wolf non-surgical, and he was actually making $250 a week and still going to school. The reality is that why aren't we helping our children find their passion and their purpose, okay, instead of shoving them in school? I'm serious. You know, let me just say this right now. You finished school. You didn't know how to love yourself. You didn't know how to feed yourself. Less love and feed and care for another human being. And then guess what? Oh, you're not going to like this at all. But I'd say at least 60% or 70% of the people that actually have children don't really want children. They have children because it's the next thing on the list. We're all programmed to do certain things. And it's not because they don't want children because they hate children. It's because their upbringing sucked. But they would love to do better by their children. But how are they going to do better if their upbringing sucked? Because if you don't have a new program, then you're just going to pass on the same program. Well, I just know I want to do much better than my parents, but I am my parents. Because the reality is, whether you like it or not, okay, you are, okay, the people that raised you. You are the people that actually educated you, or programmed you, we should say. Everybody's programmed. And guess what? Most of the programs out there suck. You know, I was dealing with an issue with some friends of mine where their daughter got into trouble. And the school is really stepping way too far into this. The punishment that they want to give my friend's daughter is beyond BS, okay? They actually think that they have the right to punish them, humiliate them, and to make them feel like they're criminals. Well, you don't think that anybody's going to push back? I mean, when I was raised, my father was a born-again Christian pastor, plus a carpenter. And I was raised knowing that I was a sinner, born a sinner. And I was raised that I was guilty and I would never know if I was going to get into heaven because I had to earn my way back. I mean, I could never figure it out. I was born already guilty. Why don't you take a good look at yourself and the way you raised your children? And most people don't want to because you wouldn't be able to. And take a look at the way children are actually being raised. They're not being raised, they're being dragged up. They're being force-fed. And maybe we're not telling, no one taught you the freedom of Christ. Listen to me. This always has to happen. People come on here, the freedom of Christ. I have people coming to me and they go, well, I will get rid of my cancer. It's in Christ's hands. Well, no, it's actually teamwork makes the dream work. And the freedom of Christ is actually believing in yourself, okay, and have unconditional love for yourself, okay? So let's make that perfectly straight, Baron, that the freedom of Christ is having unconditional love for yourself and not having to forgive yourself, Baron. So you can believe whatever you want, but you're on my platform now. And the reality is this, it's the same thing. I was raised with Christ consciousness that I was born a sinner and I was guilty, and I never knew how much I would have to do to actually go to heaven and actually have the passage of feeling free like a spirit, and that I was good enough. So don't give me your stuff. Don't come on here and throw Christ around, because guess what? I believe in Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ was taught unconditional love. And that would be really great if parents would have that, teachers would have that, if the whole world would have unconditional love for themselves and each other. We wouldn't be in this. And don't give me this Christ stuff, because a lot of people have murdered people for religion and for Christianity. So just stop it. Just stop it. Okay, just stop. Hey, dude, you brought it up. I didn't bring it up. What I did bring it up is this, is that guess what? Our children are little spirit beings. And these spirit beings that are our children, they can be way older than us. And they come here, okay? They come here, all right? They come here to teach us a lesson. They come here they mimic our personalities. They mimic the things that we do. And they're giving us that one more chance to observe and take a look at our life like a mirror, okay? So that we can grow and we can expand, because we can only grow consciously. And we can only buy into unconditional love for ourselves and for others. If there was unconditional love on this planet and there were no different, and people didn't go, my religion's the best religion. My color's the best color. My country's the best country. Where would we be? Where would we be if we didn't buy into all the stories every time? Why are we always after trying to attack each other? I say believe in whatever you want to believe in, but make sure that it's based on unconditional love and care for yourself and your family and for the world. We know this much. As soon as we start to judge, okay, somebody's got to go to jail. When you judge, someone's got to go to jail. There is nobody better than anybody else. Listen to me. I've done everything. I've been everything. The reality is how long am I going to put myself on the hook? And how long are we going to put our children on the hook? How long are we going to make our children feel bad? Instead of judging them, we should be observing them and teaching them about the way of getting to the point that you don't have to forgive, that you observe and you grow, not judge, and you put yourself into this invisible jail. I don't care what a person's religion is, if they have unconditional love for themselves, okay, and if they're connected to their breath, okay, and if they're focused on their passion and their purpose and they just love their life, if they can walk around with a slight smile on all day, isn't that what you would want your children to do?
Absolutely.
Okay, so how much would you like your children to love themselves?
Absolutely, everything.
But they can't do that, Rami, until you do. But how are you going to love yourself if you believe that this is a judgment world and you're either a sinner or you're a failure, or you need to be punished, whether you want to do it on a quiet, emotional level and just beat yourself up every day because you're unworthy, or you're going to allow others to do it because you didn't make the grade. How do you like it when other systems out there tell your children they don't make the grade?
Yeah.
No. So this is all I'm talking about here. This is all I'm talking about. She has been programmed by this guy. Have you been programmed by me,
No,
Rami?
absolutely not.
Okay, so understand something. This is what we usually get on TikTok. I mean, there's probably a lot of great people on TikTok, but TikTok is always like this. They're always coming. The reality is what if we all had our own beliefs and we allowed everyone else to have them? Mm-hmm. And if that person's beliefs wasn't harming you, wasn't injuring you, okay, why do we have to attack these other people? There are so many different types of religions, and there's so many different types of beliefs. And if those beliefs aren't hurting another, why do we have to sit there in judgment? Mm-hmm. So let's allow everyone to be who they need to be and just shine our light. If we believe that we have the answer, let's just shine that answer, which would be unconditional love for each other and allowing people to be what they want to be. I just wanted to get on here and not get into this, but the reality is I don't mind getting into this because I am letting people know what I believe in, which is unconditional love, unconditional care for every human being on this planet. And whatever you believe, go for it. Go for it. But the reality is this: I'm not trying to push my values on you, except that if you had unconditional love for yourself, what would you and how would you be treating everybody else? Okay, so let me just deal with this guy right here. Okay? Thank you. Okay. All right. Good. So understand, I don't expect people to believe in all my beliefs. Like you don't, do you? Like you have your own beliefs, I have my own beliefs, you keep your own personality. The reality is, if we can just do one thing to get rid of if we can help people get rid of their guilt, if we can help people get rid of their shame, if we can help people to be in the present moment and just love their life, to be with themselves without guilt, to be with themselves and cherish themselves and love themselves. Isn't that what we should have for our children?
Absolutely. Yes.
So wouldn't it be great if our children were schooled in that way? Okay? All right. So Ruben was going to pray for me. Okay? And guess what, Ruben? I want to thank you for that. Okay? Because it's all about energy. Okay? All right? So I appreciate that, Ruben. But I will tell you one thing. I will have unconditional love for everybody as much as I possibly can. And for those things that I can't, I won't focus on them. I'll turn myself over there. So that's the thing. Let's get back to what we're talking about today. And what we're talking about today was we're talking about putting our children into systems that aren't based on unconditional love for our children, that are systems that are actually corrupt. And that's the whole deal here. I'm not talking about anybody's religion or anybody's anything about that. I'm talking about, why aren't we coming together? We can sign petitions, but why should we do that? What we need to do is understand that as soon as we're able to govern ourselves, then they can't govern us, right? The only reason why the whole government is taking advantage of everyone is basically because we haven't learned how to govern ourselves. And governing ourselves is learning how to unconditionally love and respect ourselves. Okay, here's Ruben again. Ruben, pray for you. Okay, all right. Thank you, Ruben. He still wants to pray for me. I'm going to tell you something, Ruben. I appreciate it, but the reality is Ruben's praying for me because I am unworthy. Nobody's unworthy. There are people that have unworthy beliefs about themselves, but Ruben, I don't have that, okay? If I make a mistake, Ruben, okay, no matter how big it is, I sit back, I observe it, I ask myself how I can grow and how I can learn, okay? I don't sit there and create a time length that I should burn, okay? So, thank you. I'm getting abuse from non-believer in ones against jabs. Well, the reality is don't even bring that up. I mean, you have to understand that people are so fearful that they're going to die, they're going to perish with something that is invisible, and that's something that doesn't even exist, but it exists for them. And understand something, just the idea of that is actually worse than the thing that doesn't exist. And the reality is this, I don't have an opinion out there about the jab. I don't go around and tell people whether they should have it, not have it, whether they made a mistake, because I would never do that. I mind my own business. If somebody comes and they ask me my opinion, I would say my personal opinion is this, but the reality is just like religion, people are out there and they're trying to shove it down their throat. If they believe in the vaccine, they want everybody to take it. If they don't believe in the vaccine, they don't want anybody to take it. If somebody has a religion, they want everyone to join their religion, because guess what? They actually need, like Ruben, he's praying for me and he needs me to believe in his religion so that he can believe in his bloody religion. And if I don't believe in his religion, then I'm going to go to hell and I'm a sinner. The reality is guess what? Everybody's got a story. I mean, believe it or not, you know, I was raised a Christian. I think it was a great upbringing. But the reality is this. I have room in my heart for every religion, every color, every person on this planet. And guess what? Everybody's got a different story. And who's wrong and who's right. I'm not getting involved in that anymore. I am going to have unconditional love for everybody's story. I'm not going to try to sell my story anymore. I'm a retired teacher. I'm homeschooled my children. Can send you a free how-to. I would love to have you send that to us. I mean, or even give me a call at 469-861-9454. I'm creating what's called the BraveHeart Nation app, and we're going to be looking for people that have gifts and passion and purpose that want to come on our app for like 15 to 20 minutes every week and share something. So I would love to have somebody who is like a homeschooling expert, or, you know, a gardening expert, or it can be anything, you know. And I'm going to tell you something. You can come on my platform, any different religion, any different language, any different color, okay? Long as it's a gift that you're gifting the world, I will have everybody come on. That's what BraveHeart Nation is. And that's the God's truth. And that's what we've got to work towards. Listen, we got to work towards coming together. I didn't attack Ruben. Ruben just told me that I'm a bloody sinner and he's going to pray for me. You know, the reality is I didn't attack him. I didn't attack Christianity. I didn't attack anything. But you know what? Everybody has this thing. And if we don't fit in that little box, then we're the enemy. Now think about it. Was Ruben programmed? Was he programmed to attack everyone that don't match his beliefs? Yeah. And so what does that cause? We can't do this. Okay, Rami, I don't even know what her background is with her religion. I don't even know what her background is. I'm here at Rami's house because guess what? She's taken our courses. And the reality is, people think I go around programming. Have you ever been programmed by me? No. You know, people say, oh, it must be a cult. You know what? Understand something. This is my whole BraveHeart Nation BHN University program is about people finding their authentic selves. If you don't find your authentic self, there's the crime of the century. There's the crime of the century. And to find your authentic self, you need to dust off and find your passion, and you need to understand something. You need to come first and foremost before anyone else or anything else. So help me God on this planet. There can be no authority over you. And if you could just learn how to love yourself and care for yourself, then everybody else is going to respect you. If you're being disrespected, okay, Me, if I get on my platforms here, I get disrespected all the time because I'm a whack job, because it's different. And understand something. If you think I want to be like the herd, the majority, look where the majority is. Look at the suffering that's going on in the world. So understand something. If you want to be different and you are not part of the majority, then you are going to be ostracized and the herd will attack you. And understand something. People that do not really have faith in their own faith will attack everyone that doesn't have their faith. If somebody doesn't have your belief, you will only attack their belief if you're not sure if your belief is right. And that's why I say that I will allow anybody to have any belief they want, as long as that belief is honoring and respecting them. Because if that belief is honoring and respecting them, then they're not going to dishonor and disrespect other people. And if you can't figure that out, then you haven't even started yet on learning how to love yourself. And whether you believe it or not, what would happen if every child were taught by their parents and by every system how to honor, love, and respect themselves? Would they be pulling their pants down to get love out on the street? Would they be doing alcohol or doing drugs to become someone else because they weren't good enough for their personality? I mean, think about it. I mean, I remember when I was ignorant and I would say to my children, you know, you keep that up, mommy and daddy aren't going to love you. Are you like out of your skull, Daryl? If you don't behave, you wait until daddy gets home. Who do you think you are? Well, I'll tell you who they are. Our children are spirit beings that could be even older than us on a spirit nature. And when they get here, when they start walking and talking, they act like who? Mommy and daddy. Who else would they act like? So if you don't like something about your child, then you're not liking something about yourself. So to observe and thank your little spirit guide for acting like you, and then making those changes would be what you want to. Thank you. You know what? Can I tell you something, sweetie? That's exactly the type of tantrum that daddy has. I apologize. Can you help me? Next time that I act like you just did, can you tell me? Okay? Because I really appreciate it. If you didn't act like that right now, I wouldn't know that I was even having a tantrum. Because guess what? Whether you want to believe it or not, you are not conscious of your subconscious beliefs that are actually running, schooling, and fooling you all day long. All day long. And I have been practicing this for over 30 years, hardcore, to try to watch and observe myself, not others. First and foremost, me. How do I react? Do I react and attack? Or do I observe and learn? Or do I judge and burn myself? And do I do that to others? And if you think this is a cult, if you think this is evil, then guess what? Then you need to go back to your group, your herd, whatever your following is. But I want no followers. Do I want you to follow me?
No.
No, I need her to learn everything that she needs to from me and then outdo me. I need her to become better than me. I need her to find herself and then leave me alone. Do you understand? Everybody, every master trainer, everybody that works with me, everyone that comes to our programs, first thing we teach is this: do not follow me. I know that you're going to come here and you're going to take these sayings and you're going to take these teachings, but God, after a few weeks, please do not sound like a Daryl commercial. Take what I have, take how I speak, and then make it your own. Take everything I've written, take all my videos, but then find your authentic self and take them for yourself. Give me no credit. Mm-hmm. I want no credit for what I do. I don't want anybody praising me for anything. I don't want anybody thanking me, because we are here to serve each other. And you can believe me or not believe me, but you don't know me. People come on here and they think they know me. I want to be able to give as much as I can of my time, my money, my resources to the world. And do you know why I do it? I do it because my source relationship, my relationship with source, it's private. And I want to make that proud of me. And you know, not because I fear hell, because hell is in the mind. There is no hell. Well, for you there is. If you want to believe you're going to hell, then you're going to hell. If you want to believe that you're in hell, you're in hell. And the reality is I'm not going to go to hell because I don't believe in hell. Oh, he's going to go to hell now because he doesn't believe in hell. Well, if I believed in hell, I'd be in hell already. Please, who's the psycho one, me or you? Probably both of us. But guess what? You're either going to be miserably insane, or you're going to be happy insane. So just call me insane, but am I happy?
Oh, very happy.
Do I let anything bother me?
No.
And you've seen major traumas, right? You've seen things where, you know, where my own country turned on me and shut my bank accounts down, okay, because of who I am. So understand something. You don't get that going down if you're not doing something right. Understand something. I will fight for the right of everyone to have unconditional love for themselves and care. I don't need a follower. I don't need anything. So just back off with your cult stuff. It gets a little annoying on here. That's all I'm going to say. It gets a little annoying. So just stop it. And I will start blocking everybody from now on. I let you come on, but I will start blocking you because I know who I am. And guess what? I've never stole a penny. I give people's money back. Find another practitioner that gives back a money back guarantee on all of their therapy, their courses, their trainings, has a library that costs probably around $250,000 to build, and it's free. And it is the most powerful healing library in the world because it's all about you taking massive personal action, not following me, but becoming your own practitioner, your own authentic self, your own doctor. And you know what? People fear this because guess what I'm creating? I'm not creating a following. I'm creating individuals that are finding their authentic self and going out there. And that's the only way we're going to do it. We need to come together as a group, that unconditional love, and that we are allowed to soar and find our purpose on this planet. And if we don't have that, okay, let me tell you something. Do you know how many people I talk to and they go, you know what? I feel something empty. I feel like I've never ever found my purpose. Well, that's because you weren't allowed to have it. And the only thing I teach is you find your purpose and your passion. You learn as much from me as you possibly can. And then you go find somebody else that can teach you more. Because anyways, you know, if you're still coming to me after a year of training, then you didn't put yourself into it. Because you should have left me and you should have went on to something else, because the mind is so expansive. If you're still coming to me and paying me to be treated or trained after a year, then guess what? Give yourself a kick in the rear, because you should have moved on from me, taken everything, and you should be going on to something else and to bringing other things in to find that true authentic self. And then you should go out there and you should say to everyone, yeah, I learned all this stuff, and guess what? I'm going to kick his ass. I'm going to do better than him. I'm going to teach better than him. I'm going to do more. And that's what do I teach that?
Absolutely.
What do you think I teach that for? I know that you're going to try to come for me. Anybody that feels threatened by somebody else's beliefs are going to attack them. I didn't attack Ruben with his, I'm going to pray for you because I'm going to hell. I didn't attack him. And I thanked him for him praying for me if he wants. But the reality is, Ruben, I love myself unconditionally. I don't go around hurting people. And you can believe in anything you want. We homeschool. We were just outside barefoot gardening. Yeah, that's great. Amazing. And guess what? Does everybody know that the shoes you buy are made out of petroleum, not rubber anymore? Mm-hmm. So the reality is you're not even grounding. It's not even rubber that's natural, okay? It's actually petroleum. Everything is petroleum. And that's because the Rockefellers have a chokehold on us. And this brings us back to the whole school thing. Whether you believe it or not, there are beautiful people out there that are teachers, but they have a chokehold on them because the school is a jail. It's a jail for the teachers, it's a jail for the children, and I'm telling you right now, if we don't come together as a BraveHeart nation with unconditional love and just put our so-called religions and our belief systems like that to the side when we come together, then we will kill each other till the end of time. And that's the bottom line. And that's what's going on out there. You know, adults fight. They teach their children to go to school and fight. And guess what? It's unconditional love or nothing. If you want to come on my platform, you come on with unconditional love or nothing. And if you can't buy into unconditional love, then just sit back and listen, but be nice. And if you can't be nice, I will delete you from my programs. And you need to get that. You're allowed to believe in anything you want, but you better know one thing. Okay? Does your family trust you? Do you trust yourself? Do you have unconditional love for yourself and your family, or do you judge your children and your wife or your husband? Do you judge the world? Then guess what? You're toxic. And that's a toxic belief. And understand something. This is a training ground called planet Earth. You need to get that. It's a training ground. And it's never going to change. For one thing, the government works for an internal government that is always going to create wars, bombs, tanks, military weapons, invisible weapons to destroy us, to feed the evil entity that lives on this planet. And that's not religion. That's just the name of the game down here, that there's an evil entity. And the reality is the evil entity is allowed to be on this planet. Do you know why? Because guess what? This is my belief. So now you can tell me I'm full of BS, which is totally true. I am sometimes, okay? But the reality is this. I believe that we are low vibrational beings on the scale of the whole universe. And I believe that if we can't master unconditional love, okay? Keep yourself in the picture, Rami. If you can't master unconditional love in this lifetime, then you didn't even finish or start the planet Earth, life-threatening, fun-filled adventure where people are trying to kill you from the second you get here. And it's even your parents are trying to kill you because they're killing themselves. Take a look at all the addictions in your home. Okay, I just love this part. All of the people with their really deep religions and the alcohol, cheating on each other, lying, greed. Come on, please, don't give me your crap, okay? The reality is I have no religion, but I have unconditional love for myself and everyone else, and I will never hurt anyone. And if I do, I will apologize. But I will not be sorry for making mistakes, okay? And I will not buy into the sinner stuff, because if you looked it up, sinner just means missing the mark, okay? All right? Missing the mark. And then people will say, oh, well, yeah, that's quite the ego. People don't have egos. You know what they have? They have lack of self-awareness. Because when you have self-awareness, you can sit in your own strength of unconditional love for yourself and move through life. You can't kill something that's not there. And the reality is, if you're threatened by my beliefs, don't come on here and attack me. And if you're threatened by my beliefs, okay, don't come on here. And the reality is, if you're threatened by my beliefs, your beliefs can't be that strong. Because I'm not threatened by your beliefs. Because everybody's going to have different beliefs, and it's all going to depend on mommy and daddy, the school you went to, and the church you went to. And we could have put you with a different family, and you'd have different beliefs. So you're going to kill me for those two? Are you going to yell at me for those two? Tell me I'm going to hell for those two? Oh, come on, please. You know, if for me to expect the majority of the population just to buy into unconditional love, I'd be a fool. So to be angry, to be attacked, is quite normal. But it's how I react. And did I take it personal? Do I need approval from you to be able to unconditionally love myself and go out and teach this to the world? Now, if I were to go and do something that would be just totally Christian-based and nothing else, oh, I'd be the hero. But now I'm a zero. But guess what? I am going to embrace everyone with every belief, every religion, every color, okay, on this planet. They are my brothers and sisters, and that's that. And you can believe it or not. Oh, what's he after now? Everybody's money? Really? The only thing you should be doing today is minding your own business. Taking a look at, are you connected to your breath? You should be walking around with a slight smile on if your belief systems are that good. You should be having a slight smile wherever you go, leaving smiles wherever you go. You should be so grateful for your belief systems, and everything should be working for you because that's how it works. The source of everything is delivering what you have due to your belief systems. Your personality is creating your reality. Your belief systems make up your personality. So how are you living? For me, I don't even own a house. You know, I'll be living in between Mexico, Texas, Puerto Rico. That's where I live. Okay, I live mainly in the States. And the reality is this, okay, is that I don't even have a place yet, but I'm all over the place. What do you need to feel comfortable? The day that you unconditionally love and care for yourself, you will not be so materialistic and you will not be so judgmental on people. And that's the God's truth. That's the God's truth. What do I need? I don't really need a lot. I don't need a lot. Okay? I need to be connected to my breath, have a slight smile. And the reality is this, I know that one thing. People are so fearful. They don't even know what they're fearful of. Am I going to make enough money? Is there going to be enough food? Am I going to have a roof over my house? Well, lucky that Rami's putting me up. Okay. Thank God she's part of the cult. You know, what is wrong with everybody? You know what? You people that have to come on here and attack me, don't you have something better to do? I guess if you're not attacking me, you're attacking your family. Because attackers attack people. Mm-hmm. You can only give what you are. You can't give what you're not. And I'm just would like you to, there was a really great song by Michael Jackson, The Man in the Mirror. Go look in the mirror, every one of you. Look deep down in your eyes and ask if you trust yourself, respect yourself, honor yourself. Ask yourself if your family trusts you. Ask yourself if your family is scared of you. Mine isn't. And the people that come to me, they're not scared of me. They know that they are where they need to be. And they are unconditionally loved. What am I being attacked for? Anything that I have, my beliefs, religion. You've got to be up to something. Oh, you have a cult. You collect women. I mean, where do you want me to start? Where do you want me to start? That's the deal. Where do you want me to start? And guess what? In 6 weeks, I don't even think it's more. I think in 6 weeks, there might not even be any planes in the air. They might shut the planes down. Okay? They're going to be coming after the children in the schools with the masks and all these mandates. It's coming. It's coming. Okay? They're going to come at us, and it's not about anything. It's about putting a chokehold. Do you know why they're able to do all this? Because we attack our brothers and sisters. We attack each other. We believe that our belief systems are the only belief systems and everybody else are bad. You need to know that. The only reason why the government has gotten this far with coming after us with something that's invisible, that has no science behind it, and making us be able to take a diaper and put it on our face for 3 years, okay, is the only reason why they can get away with this, because we don't love and care for each other. We don't love and care for each other. We don't have unconditional love for ourselves or our families, and we definitely don't have it for the people outside of our homes, and we all think we know what love is. Well, for the most families and for most people, it's contaminated, and people are not stupid. Okay, they've just been force-fed stupid beliefs so that we will always be at each other. Take a look out there. Take a look at what's going on. We're always squabbling about something. The government's always pretending that this is as good as it can do. The medical system has always got a scientific breakthrough, but everybody's breaking down. Okay? Anyways, this is not where I wanted to go. What do you think, Rami?
I think it was perfect because...
Well, you can't say that because now you're part of the cult. Okay? Understand something. You know, you're not allowed to agree with me totally when I come on here and I speak powerful, because then people say, oh, he dominates her. He rules her. You know, this is what people want to believe. When people are threatened by another person's beliefs, they have to find something about those beliefs. Instead of sitting back and making quick judgments, what about observing and allowing it to just sit? You know, why do you have to hate it or love it? Why can't you just say, okay, all right, it's something to think about, or you know what, it's not for me. But to attack other people because of their belief systems. If their belief systems are not hurting you and they're not attacking your family, why are we out there? Why do we make the effort to attack each other? Because we're programmed to do it. Your families went through a lot in the last few months, eh? Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, and you know what? The fighting will only stop the growth and the love. And there's no place for that.
When there's stress, you know, like when there was stress in your family, how did that affect your
health?
How did it affect your health?
Oh.
Tell everyone. Why don't you tell everybody the last few months and what you've learned? Because I'm not trying to put her on the spot, but we all have to go through this. If we don't observe, okay, if we don't observe our life, really observe it without judgment, because as soon as you judge your life, you're not allowed to look at it. And as soon as you judge another, you won't be able to look into their soul. If you observe another coming from your heart, you will be able to see everything about them. But you will be cut off, even if it's your wife, your husband, your children, you will be cut off. You'll be cut off from seeing the truth. And they will hide the truth from you because they don't trust you. Do you know how many husbands and wives don't trust each other? How many children don't trust their parents, and parents don't trust their children? Are you like kidding me? Listen, whether I think that my children, even as adult children, can be trusted, I will love them unconditionally. And if they majorly screw up, I will not yell at them, scream at them. I will sit them. You've been around?
Yes. Oh,
what do I do? What happens? What do I do? I observe. Let's work on this. And why are you angry at me? Why are you angry at the world? Why do you believe that you can't do this? Why do you believe that you can't love that person? Why did you just do that? Why did you just write my car off?
How will that help you grow instead of judging? That's the main thing. How will it help our children grow when instead of just judging and saying you're so bad? And that's what's happening around all over. And it's very sad.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. It hasn't even started. You know what? And when I mean this, in my type of way of praying, I am praying for all of you, that you find inner peace, inner standing, and that you totally love yourself first and foremost because of what's coming pretty soon. And understand this, if you don't find peace, if you can't help yourself and ignore the BS that's coming, do not buy into it. Don't buy into the story. Don't buy into any of the story. Only buy into one story, and that's about you, first and foremost. Just focus on your passion, your purpose. Focus on being the best lover of you and your family. Focus on letting things go to the point you don't need to let them go, because you're not going to hold on to this shit no more. Why do you think people are constipated? Because they can't let go on an emotional or physical level.
Yes.
So what happened to your health in the last few weeks?
Well, just holding on to everything and just, you create a program that you think it's all attacking you, and you get sick, and you can't think, and you can't make decisions, and you can't be loving to the people around you because you're just, just kind of dodging and what's happening next, and that's wrong, because if you don't sit, observe, and learn, then you can't get out of it, and it's just really hard. So
what if we all helped each other just to find our authentic selves? What if you just help your son find his authentic self, your daughter and your other son? Because they're all different. They all have different personalities, because you and Mike had a different relationship every time you got pregnant. And where do you think their personality came from?
Yeah, from us.
Their personality came from the relationship that you and Mike had during the pregnancy. Why don't you sit with that? Why do you think their personalities are different?
Yeah.
You should sit down with the 3 kids and you should actually tell them, you all have different personalities, because guess what? When I was pregnant with you, this was going on, and Mike was thinking about life like this, and I was thinking like this. And then when we had you, then we were like this and this. And then when we had you, we were like this and this. And that's what shaped your personality. So your personality was actually shaped by majorly by your father and me. So now what you've got to do is observe and decide what things that we actually taught you that you want to put into the garbage can. And you have that right. Put it into the garbage can. Keep the things that you totally love, that honor and respect you from your father and me, but understand something. And then let me know what you don't want to keep as a belief system or a trait or a habit anymore, so that I can help you, because I know that I gave it to you. Me and your father gave you this. So I love you, and let me know on how we can help you get rid of some of the tools and strategies that we gave you that don't work. Yeah. They don't work for us either. Yeah. And then guess what? You would be teaching me and your father, okay, what we might need to get rid of that we can't even see yet. Yeah. Because you're more conscious, because you haven't been running the beliefs that we gave you as long as we have. Yeah. Are you ready? Do you see what I'm talking about?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. So we don't want anybody to be anything but unconditional love for themselves, and they'll keep their own unique personalities, because everybody has a different filter and a different focus on different interests. Your daughter is different interests. Your 2 sons have different interests. They both play baseball, but they both talk differently. They walk differently. They have different interests. They watch things differently. Their friends are different. So they'll always be unique in that way. And the reality is not so much as anything, are you loving your life, sweetheart?
Yeah. Are
you loving your life? It doesn't matter. And nothing else matters except, are you loving your life? Are you in the present moment? Okay, all right. Sage, and he's rocking the world right now. And I'm going to tell you, he said to me, Dad, I just can't stand school. And I said, yeah, we should never put you there. But the reality is, buddy, is that you've got another year and a half to go. And he was living with me, and I was trying to build the business back up again. And I said, look, just, you know what? I don't even care if you get the diploma, but you know what? Just see if you can get the thing. It doesn't matter to me. Everybody makes a big deal of everything. I said, Sage, you're going to find out in life, the more that people have gone to a government-approved schools, the more screwed up they are. Okay, and they are. Okay, you can have the most. I've got 4 PhDs and 2 bachelor of arts, and guess what? And I've got 3 vaccines too. So the reality is that education doesn't give you the life that you want. What gives you the life you want is learning how to unconditionally love yourself and others, and saying, I will work on my passion and purpose. There's a family, okay, and this family is out of California, and I did a intervention on them 2 weeks ago, and they said, our daughter is only 15. She knows what she wants to do, and we're telling her she needs to stay in school. And I said, well, how long has she wanted to do this? Well, she wanted to do this for the last 4 years, and that's all she thinks about, and that's all she wants to do. And I said, well, I can't tell you what to do, but if she was my daughter, I'd pull her out of school and let her do it.
Yeah.
Okay? And the reality is, at the end of the day, is if you can read and you can write and you can do basic math, okay, and you have a beautiful heart, okay? And if you've been fed right and you get the right nutrition, you're going to be sharp enough that, you know what, everybody, well, what's being well educated? Well, being well educated is maneuvering through life and not taking anything personal or needing approval from anyone to be your rising, authentic self and star.
Yeah.
That's it. Mm-hmm. You understand? What do you think?
I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I'm going to keep talking like this, and I'm going to keep living like this, and I don't need your approval, okay? Because I'm going to tell you something. How many people here that are taunting me and at me have worked with hundreds of thousands of people? You know what? I do, and you can check this, but I usually do, when COVID was on, I would be on 2 to 3 times a week, okay, with teenagers that wanted to commit suicide. Okay, you get this, don't you? And the reality is it took me 1 to 2 hours to change them around, because what I did was I didn't try to work with all of the bullshit that was in their heads. I just told them that, guess what? The only reason why they want to actually off themselves is because they lost their authentic self, or they've never found it yet, and that they don't need approval from their parents, and they got to stop taking things personal, and they only have one job to do, is unconditionally go in and love yourself and not give a shit what anybody else thinks about them. And they need to just do that. And that's the reality. And I emphasize that word. Please don't get me wrong. But guess what? There will be no teenager committing suicide on my watch. Okay? So that's the deal right there. And I take it really personal, that part. And I'm going to tell you something. Here we go again, where the parents are not going to have an understanding, to have an understanding that they need to stand up, and they need to be the king of their castle, the queen of their castle, and that nobody is allowed to take away our human rights, because we are teaching our children that there is a world that they shouldn't live in anymore. Because guess what? Most adults have already given up their spirit. Most adults have already given up their passion and their purpose. And guess what? It is destroying the passion and the purpose of the children, which means that they will sell their soul to the devil, because they don't know where to go anymore. Okay? Where's the guiding light out there? Okay? Everybody think about that. Where's the guiding light? God bless. And we'll talk again. Would you like to say anything?
Just God bless, and just love your kids.
And God bless.
Unconditionally, and teach them.
And God bless. And you're allowed to have the God you want. And you're allowed to have the belief systems you want. And guess what? I hope that they serve you with unconditional love and care for the rest of your life, and that you can live in the present moment and have no guilt. God bless.